going, guys? So, today, I'm excited to say that I am a proud owner of an Allis-Chalmers forklift. That's right. I bought the world's smallest. No, it's not the world's smallest. It is one tiny ass little forklift. This thing's pretty cool. It is, I don't know what year, but I do know it's a FT20 24, I think is what it's called. Yeah, FT20 24. And I honestly don't know what year it is. If you know anything about forklifts or Allis-Chalmers, the serial number, I'll put it below at the screen. But it's 14505000. And it's a pretty small little forklift. This thing's tiny. Like, literally, it is itty bitty. Like, it is so tiny. But it can lift like 2,000 or 2,500 pounds or something like this. It's crazy. So, and it was the cheapest one in Marketplace, of course. So, this logo was used from 49 to 64. That's I'm thinking it's like an early 50s. And the other reason why I think it's an early 50s, it's got a flat head. I want to say that's a Waukesha. I'll also put that on the bottom because I don't know how to properly say that. But, or Waukesha, whatever. It's old. They've used those engines in a lot of industrial stuff. You know, forklifts and boats and skid steers and stuff like that back in the day. So, or probably backhoes. But the other reason why I think it's 6 volt, one, it's got a generator. Two, the battery terminals, the positive is always the bigger one and negative is always the smaller one. And the positive one goes to ground. I'm pretty sure they didn't positively ground any 12 volt systems. I'm pretty sure that was always 6 volt. So, the guy that I got it from said the coil exploded or stopped working because he left the key on. Here, I'll show you this. I ended up getting some parts. The coil ended up cracking and blowing open, and it's all swollen because he left the key on. Well, if he was running 12 volts, it would definitely explode. The cap is broken because he was trying to fix it and broke it. So I've got new parts. I've got a new cap. I actually have an oil filter, but we're going to get it warm first. And I got a new coil and a new battery. And I bought a 6 volt because worst case scenario, I take it back and then I get a 12 volt. But I'm really thinking this one's a 6 volt. And I'm probably going to end up replacing these cables because this actually, if you look at it, it says Packard. Which means that's an old ass cable. I will have to clean the points up. They're kind of easy to get to, actually, surprisingly. But he did take this counterweight. See, there's a counterweight that goes here. He took it off. I'm going to leave it off until I'm done because that would give me a lot more room. But I'll put it back on when I get it running. I'm going to get a vacuum and clean this up. Vacuum out that. I do need to make a battery hold. And there's no side plates, which I wish there were. So, if anybody else has an Allis-Chalmers FT20 or an FP20 or whatever other model they have a couple of those models that are this size, I would love some side panels. Or if you know anything about this, that would be awesome too. Throw it in the comments below. But we're going to start off by getting this dude cleaned up. We're going to get vacuumed out, and I think I'm going to try to clean the points and see how bad they are. And then probably, I'm going to clean the points and then probably put the battery in there and see if I can get spark. So, bear with me. I'm going to grab the vacuum. We're going to get this guy cleaned out and get her started. Alright, so that's all cleaned up a lot better. Now I'm not worried about crap falling down into one of the holes of the gearbox. Now, I have these like sticky sandpaper things for like a disc or something. And they have these little tearaways. It kind of works pretty good for cleaning points out. And so I'm going to get a screwdriver and basically pry this apart and then just sand down in there. I know he said it was running, so it's probably not in bad shape, but I'm just going to do it for, that way I can put it back together and not have to worry about it. I may put the battery on and the coil in, and then take a screwdriver and pop that one apart and see if I get spark. And if I do, then I'm going to put everything back together. I may try that. This whole point system I'm kind of new to, but, you know, stick with me. Get a 6-volt coil. They had them in stock at O'Reilly's. They actually had the cap. It just was at their hub, so it took like a couple hours and they got it. Let me get a wrench. Alright, so the way this is wired up is to have this guy coming straight from the distributor, goes on the positive side, and the negative is this guy right here, which I'm not quite entirely sure where it goes. It goes into a harness of wires that probably go over to, I don't know, the ignition or something. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really dove into it, but that's how it came off, and that's how this one's going on. All right, so there's the coil there. I got it slid down in the bracket. I had to loosen this one bolt, one screw up. So I'll try to get that guy tightened back up and back in. I'll bring you back. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the battery in and then see if we can get some spark out of that distributor. All right, guys, I got the coil in, got the battery in. It fits pretty good. I need to replace these. This guy, it's getting warm. I don't know if that's the sun or if that's the battery. This guy cranked the crap out of it. So now the positive, if you look at the positive side, it's like all squished down. That one still fits, but yeah, I don't think he knew what he was doing. So I'm gonna set you down here so you can watch this. All right, the key is not working, so we gotta cross some terminals here. Not a big deal. There we go. And I did take a picture of the cap, so I know what the firing order is now, because it rotates counterclockwise, which means this is a Waukesha motor, because the firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2. So that's good to know, because if it was spinning the other way, it could be a Ford. So this is a Waukesha motor. That helps you find a lot of stuff. So I'm going to slap the cap and the rotor and all that crap back together. I will plug it in. I did take a picture of the firing, or like the order of the plugs and stuff, so I'll put that back on. Guess we'll see if this thing fires up. All right, guys, I got the cap on. It's hot out here, so I'm trying to just get this knocked out. The key's not working every time. Oh, now it's working. All right, let's see what it does. This is awesome. The throttle's not hooked up. I'm not sure what that was. Something went flying in the fan. All right, she's a runner though. That's awesome. Now we just gotta unhook it and see if it actually drives. Let me get all these chains off and the straps off. Now we don't have brakes because, you know, if you look at the brake pedal, it just doesn't exist. And the throttle's not hooked up because it's not. I need to do that. And that's kind of boogery, so I gotta mess with that. But she runs. That's awesome. Now remember, I don't have brakes. guys for watching. I got more to do to this thing. I need to make tie down. I need to make a tie down for this guy. I need to put the counterweight. I'm just going to put the counterweight on when you're not filming. No big deal. It does leak a little coolant. I'm not really sure what's going on there, so I may have to pressure test it, see if there's, you know, a bad spot, or it was getting kind of hot, so maybe the water pump's not working, or so I gotta go through it. I gotta get some bolts for it. The brakes do not work. I'm so glad the e-brake actually works, because that's the only way I can stop it. So, appreciate for watching. I got more coming on it. It's pretty much done for now. I can use it. I can go lift stuff with it. So, I'll check in on the next one.